This episode is brought to you by Meow Mix Cat Food, the only one cats ask for by name. With 65 acres and almost 100 residents, feeding time at Big Cat Rescue is a full-scale operation. We feed out approximately 2,000 pounds of meat every week. The sanctuary is split into 4 separate feeding routes: front, centre, back and outback. So this is our food prep area where the process begins every single day of the year, and this is how we do it. Interns begin prepping all the feeding routes and diets for the cats at around noon each day, and it takes several hours. Working from the feeding sheets, which list all of the cats on the property, they know exactly how much food to designate to each feeding route, which cats get different portion sizes, and if there's any special diets that need to be made up for the cats that have any issues, such as being unable to process fur and bone, or soft food diets for older cats that have minimal teeth. Our menu consists of a carnivore diet with added nutrients and minerals, beef and chicken. We also feed out whole prey twice a week, which is a great way to include all the nutrient-rich organs and bones in our cats' diets. Plus, it enriches their lives, stimulating many natural behaviours while they're in captivity. The last thing we do is prepare different quantities of a joint supplement for the feeding routes. Since many of our cats are elderly with mobility issues, we want to make them as comfortable as possible during their retirement in Florida. Once food prep is complete, keepers then close the lockouts for our tigers, lions, clawed leopards and cougars, plus a few of our smaller cats that are just a little too enthusiastic at dinner time. We also separate any cats that become aggressive with one another or steal food from the other cat. This is a lockout. As you can see, it's a smaller addition on the side of the enclosure. All the cats have at least one lockout where they can find fresh water 24/7, and it's also where we feed them every day. As their name implies, we simply lower the doors before feeding time, locking the cats out of that space. So when the feeders arrive later on, they can safely place the food on the slab without the cat being there. Then open it up and let the cat in. Feeding time is the most important part of the day to observe the cats. In the mornings we clean the enclosures and can often get a good look at them, but sometimes they're sleeping in the middle of the enclosures or they're hidden amongst the vegetation. So when they're in the lockouts, we can observe them up close from every angle. With the diets prepped and the lockouts down, all we have to do now is feed about 100 exotic cats. Feeders are assigned to each route and then we load up and head out. The sound of the food carts approaching is like ringing the dinner bell at Big Cat Rescue, and this is without a doubt the favourite time of day for the cats. All 4 routes have a laminated sheet they work from to see exactly what each cat is to be fed on that particular day, and cats on special diets are highlighted. Then the joint supplement is mixed into the carnivore diet before feeding out to the cats. All of our keepers are trained to observe the cats at feeding time. We can watch them as they walk up to their lockouts to make sure they're not limping or anything like that, and then make sure we get a good look at them all over once they're eating in the lockout. If we do observe anything wrong with a particular cat, such as limping, any external injuries such as a cut or swelling, they could be struggling to eat their food, maybe they're not even interested in their food. We can call the route leader over to our location so they can observe them too. If possible, we video or take photos of the animals so we have a reference, and we can share them with our vets as well. Then those images and videos are kept on file for future use. On average, it takes around an hour or so to feed the entire sanctuary. At the end of each route, the senior keepers read out all of the names of the cats to make sure they've all been fed and nobody's been missed. Then, once the feeders are back at food prep, they can log any observations online so the staff and vets can see if there's any more cats that need to be observed. We then bag up and label any remaining food, check the sheet and take out food for the following day, clean all the feeding buckets, wipe down and sanitize the food carts, and sweep and mop food prep.